I don't know if you've noticed, but this virus has taken away the public forum from our city council meetings. Well, I am here to put the public back in public forum.
Pops you up, Ashland Public Forum, wow!
Here we go. Public forum for April 7th. Citizen Michael Mesmer. Dear Ashland City Council and Mayor Stromberg, thank you for all that the City of Ashland has put in place to respond to COVID-19, especially setting up bathrooms and hand washing stations, available 24 hours for everyone, donating toward hotel rooms for people who lost access to shelter, designating car camping spots with OLRA, and easing small business taxes and utility shutoffs. Your quick action has helped ease suffering and improve community health, and we know you recognize that there is more that must be done. We still need urgent action from the City of Ashland for those who are already struggling the most and who have largely been left out of local and statewide COVID relief so far. This is crucial right now for all of us because we know that each of our health depends on community health, including those at highest risk. Here are some important next steps that the city might take right now. Suspend ticketing for camping within your jurisdiction to minimize negative health impacts to those seeking to shelter in place without access to traditional housing options. Options should include designating safe places for unsheltered people to rest, seek services, and share resources and information. 2. Expand health shelter options. There are many in our community willing to donate funding, but we need the city to help identify and secure land, buildings, and other physical resources to provide shelter in this critical moment. 3. Ensure medical care that is being made available to houseless communities members, including mental health support. People are scared right now and are losing access to many of the resources that they have relied on to survive before COVID-19 crisis hit. 4. Ensure the city has laundry and shower options for houseless community members. These basic personal hygiene resources are important for everyone trying to practice optimal hygiene to protect themselves and our community as a whole from the spread of COVID-19. Thank you, Michael Mesner. Same letter was also sent by, thank you, Joyce Ward. Also sent by, thank you, Lori McManus. And thank you, Honora Vieja. And thank you, Katz Smith. Then, next citizen. Gina DuQuenne. Mayor and City Council, I too, like so many other citizens in Ashland, appreciate what you have done. However, this is not enough. There is a serious sense of urgency when business owners come to you and suggest on how we keep businesses going and rebound once we are out of this the middle of this pandemic. Nothing is done, no creative thinking or solutions. As someone who works in travel and tourism, I know that the funds from the tourism industry play a major role in funding the city. Why can't some of this money be allocated to support small businesses in Ashland? The economic is in critical condition and in need of resuscitation. Jobs and Justice presented a very doable draft to the city administrator in regards to housing our homeless, only to receive a swift no from her. I understand that we need to buy in from our partners such as ORA and others. However, our local government can't allow this to happen. To quote a dear friend, perhaps we can take a page from Medford. I understand that this proposal cannot be done in a week or a month, that it can be done and is doable to happen. Looking at the big picture, I know that we have buildings and the ability to open them for temporary shelters now. I applaud and grateful for all the many volunteers who have given their time. In conclusion, the people of Ashland are in need of leadership. I think all capital interest projects need to be put on hold and money needs to be redirected. Also, we have a general fund. How can that be utilized? We can do better, Gina DuQuenne. Then, next citizen. Citizen Mariah McLaughlin. Hello, Ashland City Council members and Mayor Stromberg. My name is Mariah McLaughlin, and I am a concerned citizen of Ashland. Our unhoused population is in grave danger during this crisis and need immediate housing. Please take action in any capacity you have to fill this need. Thank you for your continued attention to the vulnerable demographic who are our neighbors too. Sincerely, Mariah McLaughlin. Next citizen. Citizens David and Kathleen Katz. I agree with the suggestions and ideas for helping the vulnerable people in Ashland. Please find a solution during this crisis and hopefully beyond. Sincerely, David and Kathleen Katz. Next citizen. Citizen Marian Spadone. Dear council members and mayor, I am in appreciation of what has been done so far in town to assist people, follow health protocols, and care for vulnerable people right now. However, my observation is that the bulk of the work has been done by independent agencies, churches, and concerned individuals, and that the city, instead of being a bulwark and support to these people, is stifling, sidetracking, and at times downright blocking their efforts. We have an emergency situation in our entire country, and it filters down to here, our little town. Many things need to happen to relieve the suffering of business owners, workers, students, elders, etc. My big concern at this moment is that we have a significant amount of homeless people who are in dire need of shelter, food, showers, laundry, medical care, safe places, changing stations, hot water for washing hands, clean toilets with soap, water, and toilet paper. I shouldn't have to list all these things, which so many take for granted. When will the city follow CDC guidelines and mandate the opening of motels for the shelter of homeless people? Why isn't red tape being cut to allow the opening of Pioneer Hall again, so that the people who spend so much time and money making the kitchen pass regulations, kudos to SOJWJ, can now actually use it for cooking and feeding the homeless people they serve? Why isn't money being released to do the minimal repairs and upgrades that the building in Winburn Way Community Center? These things could surely be accomplished quickly and expedited in light of current dire threats to our homeless population and the rest of our citizens. Now is the time for remodeling, removing obstacles, not strengthening them. There simply must be more done to shelter and care for the people who remain without their basic needs met. If your hearts are not moved to aid these citizens, then at the very least consider the risk to yourself and those you love by having people unhoused, unfed, cold, tired, with overworked immune systems, and without medical assistance at large right now in the midst of this pandemic. This is a great failing of the city government. Where is our mayor? Where are the members of this council? Where is your leadership? Who remain invisible might look to the example of Julie, who is right here on the ground with the people. She has been elected to serve. We need to be hearing from you. We need more than simply being told to write an email to you. We need to see our mayor, our councilors. We need leadership now. Please make it your promise to house every homeless person now in motels or the empty SOU dorms, housing, or other potentially available spaces. Open the Grove for people who have time to rest and warm up. Take leadership. Cut through needless red tape right now. Discourage the paranoia towards the abuse of our homeless population by having a clear citywide stance on the dignity of all humans. Brainstorm like crazy to find safe places and safe ways to care for our homeless, and then encourage the whole of the citizenry. Values respecting the dignity of all. Promote this attitude actively via social media, newspaper posters, radio spots, etc. Stop relying on the kindness of strangers and use some of that city money to take this opportunity to care for the people and to build a strong, engaged, informed, empowered citizenry here in this jewel of a town. Step up now. Sincerely, Marian Spadone. All right, next citizen. Whew. This is citizen Miriam Reed. The subject, 5G installation. Dear Mayor and City Council, we ask that you impose a moratorium on small cells and other wireless infrastructure permits, process, and deployment until the COVID-19 emergency is over. The wireless providers are using the COVID-19 emergency as cover to expand and cement their rapid and virtually unsupervised deployment of harmful wireless infrastructure.
Our social leaders should not have to dedicate time and resources to policing whether the wireless companies are following local and state law. They have far more important things to do. The FCC wireless permit rules allow emergency moratoria. Homeland Security guidelines emphasize that maintenance of existing communication capabilities is the priority. New construction is not essential. The COVID-19 emergency has led to a government shutdown of non-essential activity. Hospital, emergency response, and local officials are overwhelmed, and they must be allowed to focus on what is indeed essential. Now is not the time to be dedicating resources to expanding rather than just maintaining our networks. The FCC has directly held a local jurisdiction can impose a temporary halt to deployment and permits during emergencies and a matter of accelerating wireless broadband deployment by removing barriers. FCC 18.555.1111, whatever. We recognize that there may be limited situations in the case of natural disasters and comparable emergencies where an express or de facto moratorium that violates Section 33 may nonetheless be necessary to protect the public safety and welfare or ensure the continued quality of telecommunications services. Homeland Security has declared that local government is on the forefront and can take control over determining whether to temporarily halt all non-essential activity. Homeland Security guidance documents prioritize maintenance of existing communication systems and do not support essential status for new construction. See Homeland Security, Cybersecurity, and Infrastructure Security Agency identifying crucial infrastructure during COVID-19 website, blah. E-critical infrastructure and key support annex website.
Response, recovery, and restoration. Homeland Security, like the FCC, understands that it is essential in an emergency situations justify focusing on protecting, responding, recovering, restoring of existing systems, but new communication facilities construction is and should be deemed non-essential and subject to lockdown for so long as we are under emergency conditions. Cities can and should impose moratorium on deployment of their local and freeze the permit process of the until the COVID-19 emergency is over. Next citizen. I'll do this one again. Citizen Larry Cooper. To the Council and Mayor. Hello, Council and Mayor. Thank you for keeping our city functioning and supporting the health and safety of us all. As part of the city's focus on the immediate pandemic crisis, I urge you to instruct the Public Works Department to withdraw the request for bids on the construction of the proposed water treatment plant. This is not the time to pursue such a large and complex project when we have to focus on our day-to-day needs. There is no emergency requiring immediate action on the WTP.
And in fact, Ashlanders are expecting an opportunity to have a community discussion regarding the WTP plan. So let's continue to focus on our immediate needs and set this very large and complex capital project on the back burner for now. In addition, this would be a good time for the city to throttle back on any and all expenditures that are not essential to the health, safety, and welfare of Ashland residents. We need to circle the wagons fiscally and figure out what resources we have to weather a multi-year economic storm, indebtedness via the proposed bond that would be on the ballot. I'm going to skip something. My guess is that the voters will reject the proposal as no one wants to increase costs at this time. The city must also address needs of economically vulnerable residents wherever practical, such as keeping utility rates capped and even reduced for the balance of the year. Rates are scheduled to increase on July 1st, I believe, and that rate increase should be indefinitely canceled. My hope is that our resilient community will eventually recover from the current crisis, but we must be realistic about our future. Ashland is likely to contract in population as a result of lost tourist activity and the need for many to relocate to more affordable places. Hopefully, OSF and SOU will recover, but it will take time. It is both appropriate and necessary for the city to seek very wise avenues to reduce expenditures, budgets, projects, and staff in order to survive the next few years. Lower population, fewer tourists, reduced tax and fee revenues,
and overall reduced business activity should allow the city budget to shrink some, giving us more flexibility to handle the medium-term future. Hopefully, we'll bounce back within a few years, but right now, we have to act prudently to survive. Larry Cooper, Ashland, Oregon. And then, Citizen Kate Wenzel submitted 8 to 10 color glossy pages of internet links and circles and arrows and paragraphs on the back of them. It was too much, so I rejected it. You got to tighten it up next time, Kate. Okay? That's it. End of public forum, April 7th.